and welcome to our cottage garden. In today's video, we're going to be harvesting and making a beautiful herbal concoction for supporting you during your moon cycle. This is anti-inflammatory. It's going to help soothe cramps and really support the coziness of this time in your cycle. And you can also use this for menopausal symptoms. Just add a little bit of red clover maybe to the blend. So I'm going to be sharing this herbal recipe with you and all of the medicinal properties of these plants. But first, we have to harvest them. Okay, this goes without saying, but always consult a healthcare provider before trying anything from the garden, and just make sure that you know what you're foraging and harvesting before you put anything in your cup, on your plate, in your belly. So we're gonna head over to our vegetable patch, but first I wanted to show you this. This is our morning glory arch, and I was saying I don't think we're gonna get any flowers, but we do have some beautiful, this is the heavenly blue morning glory. And it is just that, absolutely enormous. It's so much bigger than any of the other morning glory that we have. And for any of you who are curious, this is not the same thing as bindweed. This is different. This is an annual, and it's just really, really beautiful, very, very easy to maintain, and it's not a perennial weed that's going to continue to come back. But look at that. It's so big and beautiful. I love it. I'm so happy we finally got some. We've grown this every single year, and we've hardly ever gotten any flowers, so that's fun. And there's one up at the top as well. Still quite sparse, but it's like the yellow leaves are starting to fall and we have our blue morning glory. All right, let's go. Okay, so we are here in the vegetable patch in our little kitchen garden, and this is our red raspberry plant. So these have really beautiful canes on them. They're getting a little bit eaten, but you know, it's the end of the season and they're a little bit tired. Ideally, you want to harvest your red raspberry leaves, which can be any red raspberry leaves that you get from like a shop or whatever. Just make sure that you know what you're eating before you ever eat anything. These videos are just for inspiration and entertainment. You know, obviously make sure that you know what you're doing. Do all your research beforehand. But yeah, red raspberry leaf, such a great one for your cycle. And you want to come out typically earlier in the season before they've actually flowered. This is our first year with this plant, so we just got a few blooms on it. But there are a few little canes that are starting to develop at the bottom, so those have the nice bright green leaves, which is what you're looking for. So nice bright green leaves. You want to harvest early in the morning with all of these. That's the best time when you have that dew on the leaves and everything like that. And we're not looking for any of these darker leaves. We want things that are a little bit lighter, the newer growth, really, really bright, vibrant green. And also this is really nice because these have, the thorns on these are much softer, so they're not as like hard to harvest. So I'm just gonna start by harvesting the leaves here. And I'm just gonna come in and just kind of cut off the ends like that. And we'll just sort of encourage any little critters to skedaddle. Little shake. And then see how there are some new ones here at the bottom? We're just going to harvest a few of these leaves. Now you can do these dry or you can do them fresh with any of these sort of like medicinal teas, but we're going to be doing them fresh today because I haven't dried any. And this way you can just kind of be inspired to go out in your garden and harvest something that day, the day that you feel inspired to do it. But I like to usually just do a few leaves, especially if they are fresh. So we're not going to do too terribly many here. But as you can see, in terms of growing raspberries, you want to make sure that you have them growing in something because they spread like crazy. Very similar to mint, just growing it in your garden, it will completely take over. And with something like raspberries, you know, we have wild black raspberries that grow all along here, all around this area. And people really, really struggle to get rid of them because they just come up everywhere. But you can see they send out new plants all around the base. So I'm really glad that we have this in our barrel. So that's how many we're starting with here. Just a few of those really beautiful bright green leaves. So now we're going to be harvesting some thyme. And this is a woolly thyme. We also have a different variety of thyme actually growing in one of our garden beds, but I want to use this one here. And I'm going to, you really don't need that much of it. If you're using dried, then usually it's about 2 teaspoons. And for fresh, I'm just going to use about a teaspoon. So I'm just going to cut off enough here. There we go. It smells lovely. I've just loved this. This is sort of like it's like an edible arrangement, but it's gorgeous and it's been so nice. So if you just garden sort of on a porch or something like that, or maybe you have some gardening, like some physical limitations or limitations in terms of energy and things like that, just having something like this can be really, really beautiful, but also it allows you to kind of play around with edibles as well on a very small scale. So we have a tricolor sage, lemon verbena. Both of these are great for teas. This one is great for cooking as well. This is a shisho, Japanese green red, but this is a really, really delicious one to throw in Thai curries or different salads and all kinds of recipes like that. We have chives, which bloomed a little bit, but those are fantastic. And then we have some rue here as well, which is really beautiful. So this is really, really fun and a great kind of tip if you're working with limited energy, or you have some, kind of like health limitations or spatial limitations. This could be a really nice, fun thing to do. Or if you have, 3 acres and lots of energy, this is also very, very fun. All right. So you've seen me harvest lemon balm before, I think a few times now. So I'm just gonna take one little stem of the lemon balm, and yeah, we'll be talking about all of the properties of all of these in just a little bit. Okay, so you've seen me harvest chocolate peppermint before. I had to include this one if you've been here for any amount of time. I have been loving this herb. It is so, so fantastic. So I'm just really throwing this in there because I love it. But there are other benefits to having this in your moon cycle tea. Just a few sprigs, maybe a few more. Okay, so we have all of these beautiful medicinals in here, and I'm going to add just a little bit of echinacea. This is sort of a bonus. Some echinacea, and we might grab some rose as well. I'm just gonna grab a few petals. Because sometimes when you're cycling, you just wanna be doing pretty things. You wanna have beautiful things to drink and look at and taste. So sprinkle a little bit of beauty, a little bit of romance into your tea. Echinacea purpurea, coneflower. Okay, so now we're gonna harvest some yarrow. This is a really great one for moon cycles. And some people harvest the flower heads themselves, but you can also harvest the leaves. These have the medicinal properties as well. And to make sure that they're ready to be harvested, you just wanna kind of rub them between your fingers and then just give it a sniff. And if it smells rich and spicy, then they're ready to be harvested. It smells delicious still. All right, I'm gonna come all the way down, just sort of harvest it like that. This is really beautiful, and you can harvest them, like I said, you can harvest the flowers, but also if you obviously always check and make sure that you're harvesting the right thing, but if you harvest, if you have, some yarrow in your lawn, some people have yarrow because it spreads like crazy in some areas. They have yarrow coming up in their lawns. So if that bothers you, you can just kind of come through and snip it out, even those sort of very young little leaves of yarrow that look like that. But yeah, this is a really beautiful one that has yet to flower, so that's fun. We're making use of it in other ways. It's a very beautiful blue-green kind of foliage. I'm gonna do 3. And voila. It smells so good. Like licorice, like anise flavored. Lovely. Okay, so this is our beautiful alnwick rose. This is a fantastic one to harvest. It's got a really fruity floral kind of scent and flavor palette, and it is one of the David Austin roses, so I'm going to harvest this now. And hopefully now that we've harvested that, this one will go ahead and bloom for us. But if you have this rose and you understand the smell of it, it is just like so pungent, so aromatic. It has this insane, like fruity scent and flavor. Subtle, obviously, but really, really nice. Gorgeous. Okay, so now that we have harvested all of these, I'm going to show you this beautiful tea blend. I have our gorgeous little teapot. This has a filter built in, which is fantastic, but you could also use something maybe like a French press, or you could use, tea bags or balls or things like that. Or there are even these little ones that you can kind of glass vials almost that you can hang on the side of your individual cup and kind of fill those with herbs as well. I think they have them on Amazon. So most of these herbs here, I think all of them have anti-inflammatory properties, which are fantastic when you're on your period, because we tend to hold water, maybe bloat, and even have some inflammation in our face in the form of maybe acne or things like that. And like I said, we can do these dry or fresh. When I use them for fresh teas, I do just a few leaves, maybe anywhere between 3 to 7, maybe 5 to 10, if you're feeling spicy. So let's start with our first one, which was red raspberry leaf for supporting women's reproductive health. So there are a ton of benefits from this powerhouse leaf for your moon cycle, with the phytochemicals like tannins, and you can really use this throughout your cycle to balance your hormones. It may help with heavy menstrual bleeding, with PMS symptoms, and with its antioxidants and vitamins, vitamin C, E, A, iron, calcium, potassium, magnesium, which many of the other plants on this list share. It's also used to alleviate just overall discomfort. So I'm going to start by adding, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little leaves here. And that should be good for our red raspberry leaf. And like I said, you can use any of the red raspberry, the leaves from red raspberries. If you have a friend who has a patch of raspberries, or they're like, I'm trying to get rid of those raspberries coming out of my ears, just ask if you can go and harvest a few. And this is best sort of in late spring, early summer, when that new growth is really coming out. Harvesting in the morning and just ensuring that you're doing it probably before it starts to flower. So next up we have yarrow or achillea. This is used in like European folk medicine, and my family is Swedish, like Swedish origins. And it's used in that ancient folk medicine to sort of relax and soothe the muscles in the uterus, which can really help with like menstrual cramping and things like that. So I'm going to be taking these. I might break off the stems here. Oh, that smell is incredible. Oh, I love it. And then I'm going to break it up a little bit and just add it in. And all of the little critters have had time to leave. This is also a great one for reducing inflammation. And we are just using the leaves, like I said, but again, you can use the flowers as well. And you can use the sort of new, fresh growth if that comes up in your lawn and you treat it more as a weed. But if you are using it in the lawn and anywhere for using medicinal teas, anything from your apothecary garden, just make sure that it's not been sprayed with anything. Some people put chemicals on their lawns, so just ensure that your lawn hasn't been sprayed with any of that before you harvest. Next up we have thyme, and thyme has some research into its helping to alleviate menstrual cramps as well. It's just a really, really beautiful one. I mean, most of you are probably familiar with thyme in terms of cooking and using it in the kitchen, but using it for our apothecary, using it like in our medicine cabinet as well, can be really handy. It can alleviate pain and discomfort from menstruation naturally, and can even help with mood swings. And it's also known for sort of fighting acne. So if you get any breakouts during your cycle, this can be really handy. I just got like confetti of thyme just sprinkled all over me. There we go. So next up we have our lemon balm. And this one is wonderful. It's great anti-inflammatory, and it can reduce severe symptoms of menstruation like cramping, pain, fatigue. It can also help to improve mood and help with nervousness or anxiety. So if you experience those symptoms any point in your cycle, maybe during PMS or things like that, lemon balm is fantastic for that. So I'm gonna use that one. We're gonna choose the choicest leaves here. Go out mushroom foraging with an expert here, and whenever he says like choice edibles, I just always think about that when I'm harvesting. Choice edibles, choice edibles. But yeah, oh, this is smelling so good already. That's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but it looks really gorgeous. Okay, next up we have chocolate peppermint. I just had to do it. I just love it so, so much. So it has a delicious like Yorkshire peppermint patty kind of, which I haven't had in years, but I've had like chocolate peppermint. There's a Nadamu ice cream. It's like a non-dairy ice cream. And they've got like a chocolate peppermint flavor that I used to have all the time when I lived in Los Angeles. It's got a similar kind of vibe to that. Oh my gosh. He just told me that Ben & Jerry's came out with an Oreo chocolate mint that's vegan. So that's cool. We might have to try that. Hey, next moon cycle, baby. You get so spoiled when I'm on my period because we end up having so many like treats. And I usually eat like whole food, plant-based, but whenever I'm on my period, we change it a little bit. Explore different sides of the grocery store. So yeah, this has a delicious chocolatey peppermint flavor, and it boasts a number of different health benefits. It can help soothe cramping and aid with digestion, which can be really affected by our cycle. Also, many of us crave chocolate when we're cycling. Since our serotonin levels, like the feel-good hormone, can drop, and chocolate can aid in the production of serotonin. So let's go ahead and add these in. I'm gonna add all of them. So now I'm going to add some rose, some of this alnwick rose, and some echinacea petals. And these are great. Echinacea is so fantastic for your moon cycle because it helps to boost your immune system, as I'm sure you're probably familiar if you know. I mean, just, you know, anytime you're sick, usually you're recommended echinacea tea, things like that. And, you know, when you're cycling, your immune system can be kind of down. Plus, it's also anti-inflammatory, loads of antioxidants, sort of like the rest of them here. And echinacea is also known to boost your hormones. So I'm putting in about 10 petals. It's so funny. We live up on the mountain and, you know, in the country. And it's so funny whenever we film a video for you, it's like everyone decides to bring out their stuff, like start to do their lawns and things like that. And it's like down the valley too, but we can somehow hear it because of the acoustics of the mountain. Oh, you guys, it just smells so fruity and delicious. I'm so excited about this tea. Okay, lovely. Are you gonna have some? You want? Yeah. Okay. I'm getting a little carried away. Let's go ahead and fill it up with our hot water. So you want water that is, you know, just after boiling. And this is 160 degrees Fahrenheit for any of you who are curious. Okay, so I'm gonna let this steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. With dried tea, I think it's usually recommended by herbalists to let it steep for about 20 minutes. You could also do it for 3 minutes. Really depends on your patience. And sometimes when we're cycling, our mood does not support patience. So do whatever you feel, but yeah. Do, 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 do. Let's do a meditation. Just for today, I will be honest. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will be kind. Okay, I think our tea is done steeping. It's been steeping for about 8 minutes. Oh, we got some rose petals that came out in it. Oh my gosh, it smells incredible. This is like our taste test. Oh wow, that's really, really good. So my husband was kind of concerned that the thyme might make it taste savory, but it really doesn't. I mean, it's very herbal. The kind of licorice, it's not fully licorice, but it's got that like kind of like licorice, like a hisper, a hint and a whisper, a hisper of licorice. It's just very aromatic, fruity, floral. really nice, very gentle. What I might do now that I have a cup of this is wait until this cools down and then put it in the fridge. And then I've been really enjoying having, you know, kind of like an iced tea the following day. I don't add any ice to it, but I just have sort of like a cold brew tea. And it's really, really nice. But this is delicious and really supportive for your cycle. Again, do all your own research, check things out. But I love to be a curious gardener. I think curiosity is something that I learned from my mom and my family, and that was something that I feel very, very honored to have inherited, I guess, is a sense of curiosity. So be curious about the natural world, be curious about, you know, folk remedies are so fascinating. So I just hopefully can inspire a little bit of curiosity. These mosquitoes are very curious about my face right now. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Like this video if you like. Please let me know if there are any other, you know, herbal remedies that you'd like me to talk about or anything else that you'd like me to cover in my videos. Thank you so much for being here. It has just been such a joy to be able to connect with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel like I have a whole new batch of friends. It's really nice. All right. Like if you like, subscribe if you're not already. That really does help us out, and I'll see you again very, very soon. All right, bye. Cheers. Happy moon cycle. That is so good. Come and have a sip. Isn't that nice?
That is great. That is really good.
Like everything is blended kind of perfectly, so it's got that like the roses and things. They make it very smooth and yeah.
That's amazing.
That's really good.